Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard of once in a lullaby. These classic, legendary lyrics have represented the dreamer within so many of us and our hopes for the future we desire. Dorothy sings Somewhere Over the Rainbow at the start of the Wizard of Oz movie, where we see her frustrated on her farm in Kansas, daydreaming of a better life out there. Out there. Out there. Since the beginning of time, we have been conditioned to believe that our happiness is found out there, outside of ourselves. Today, in this digital world we're living in, that belief is ramped up tenfold. Because now, out there is not beyond the clouds or away above the chimney tops. It's right in our hands. With one click of a button, we can enter a virtual realm where there is a whole slew of things we believe will bring us happiness. That material thing we've been wanting can be ours within days, even hours. But the excitement we feel when we receive it can often only last so long until the next desire comes along. If we're feeling down, we can run away from the thoughts and emotions we don't want to feel by numbing them through watching a whole season of a show or even transporting to a new place by putting on a pair of virtual reality goggles. Recently, my little cousin let me put on his goggles for my very first time, and let me tell you, it freaked me out. Within a matter of seconds, I went from a living room in New Jersey to the pyramids of Egypt, and I thought to myself, talk about escaping reality. Who would want to deal with real life when you can just put these bad boys on? The other way we run away from what we don't want to feel is by hopping on social media for the good old S&C. Scroll and compare. You know what I'm talking about, don't you? Ugh. Why is her skin so perfect and I look like I've aged 20 years? I'm disgusting. You're kidding me. He already has everything and now a new car to add to the mix? I can't even afford my gas. I'm worthless. Sound familiar? It's okay. You're not alone. We all fall into the comparison mode at one point or another. But let me ask you this. If out there in the virtual world is supposed to bring us happiness, then why aren't we happy? In a study titled The Relationship Between Excessive Internet Use and Depression, authors found that those who regard themselves as dependent on the internet report high levels of depressive symptoms. In the International Journal of Environmental Research and Public Health, another study was shared that looked at the connection between PSU, problematic smartphone use, which is a person's inability to regulate their use of the mobile phone. The connection between PSU with Instagram use and self-esteem. Researchers found that where there was an increase of Instagram use, that led to an increase of problematic smartphone use, which led to a decrease in self-esteem. In other words, when we look to applications like Instagram to make us feel good, it can have the exact opposite effect. These are only two of numerous studies that show more anxiety disorders and a greater lack of focus due to our digital devices. This research can help us understand we're missing something vital as we seek the reality we desire in the virtual world. Like many of you, I have experienced firsthand this out there phenomenon in my own life. Posting photos to get that quick hit of dopamine from the virtual validation of a like or comment. Then 2 minutes later, feeling crappy as I compared myself against the perceived realities of others I would see on social media. After repeating this cycle so many times, I realized something had to change because I was not feeling the way I felt when I pictured my dream future. So I got real quiet and asked myself what that change needed to be. The answer was revealed to me as I sat down and wrote the words of this poem that I titled Acceptance. I accept all of me. This is how you created me to be. I'm perfectly made, every cell and every part, from the bottom of my toes to my beautiful, loving heart. I'm learning to change my old question, you see. That question was always, what is wrong with me? Because I observe the way others are, I always thought my way was much too out far. How do they do that? Wow, they're so great. Admiring them while feeling self-hate. But all the while as I compared and felt bad, my inner being whispered, I'm actually glad. I'm glad you are seeing that you are unique, not created to be similar, but your own magnifique. So stop asking what is wrong with me when looking at others, and ask, how can I use my gifts to serve my sisters and brothers? You're perfectly made, every cell and every part, from the bottom of your toes to your beautiful, loving heart. So enjoy who you are and let the judgment of self go. You are a blessing to this world. Loving yourself makes that so. See, happiness is not where you're looking, because out there doesn't take us very far if we haven't started from within. Connecting with our core selves to acknowledge, understand, and accept who we are allows us to move into the happiness out there that we envision. Then, when we use our digital devices, they're no longer crutches that add to our pain, but gifts that can enhance our lives. Up until 2 days ago, I planned on singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow as part of this talk. Because as a longtime professional performer on Broadway, in film and TV, I thought, well, singing is the only way to spread this idea and drive it home. When I got word that due to complicated publishing laws, I was not given the clearance to sing it, my heart was broken. But through my tears of disappointment, a magical moment happened. I realized I was counting on your applause and cheers after I sang, assuming you liked it, of course, for validation that I'm good enough and this talk was successful. By listening to the quiet voice of my soul, I now understand this talk isn't about me or about how pretty a song may sound. It's about the message being shared through me to impact you. Being that vessel is enough. Isn't it ironic? Dorothy went on a journey down the yellow brick road to the land of Oz to find her happiness. Yet at the end of the movie, realized everything she needed was within her the entire time. We are no different. Everything we want is first activated from within. So I invite you to allow your mind to open to this new perspective that our somewhere over the rainbow is already within us as you ask yourself this one question. Why, oh, why can't I? I can. You can. We all can. Everything we want is in the last place we look for it. Inside. Thank you.